This is a video about installing Deckorators' Voyage mineral-based composite decking. This is one of two decking varieties offered by Deckorators. The other is a wood or cellulose composite. I preferred the mineral-based due to its heat resistance and low thermal coefficient, which means it does not expand much in our hot Houston summers. It has enhanced traction for slip resistance and is warranted for water contact during our heavy rains and occasional floods. Overall, the material has a durable surface or cap that requires little maintenance, just the occasional hose off, and it's lightweight and easier to work with. Best of all, it has this low thermal movement, low expansion rate, so I can space things as little as a 1/16 of an inch when building in summer temperatures. It's approved for ground contact, so you can put it right on the lawn if you wanted to, and water submersion, so you can put it around a pool, or in my case, below a future jacuzzi. Before installing decking, we must frame the joist at 16 inches on center. Since I want the deck to last a lifetime, I used treated 2x6s and beefed up the areas where I want a future gazebo and a jacuzzi. You'll notice the double joist at the edge, to which I'll add blocks at 16 inches on center to run my border. Deckorators' line of Voyage mineral-based composite decking offers planks in 6 stain colors with a square or grooved edge in nominal 4 to 10 inch widths. I chose the grooved and mesa color for my deck, alternating 3.5 inch and 7.25 inch widths with a 9.25 inch kaya border. The grooved edge came with the company's proprietary stowaway hidden fasteners. The board lengths came in 16 and 20 feet. I also ordered a length of 8-inch fascia for the edge. The first step comes with installing the border. We used a common blade and a speed square to cut the miters because the boards were a little too wide for my miter saw. To deburr the edges or clean them, a kitchen scrubber worked very well. You will notice a double joist along the rim where the border will run parallel to the joists. Here we had to add blocks every 16 inches to support that border. You'll also notice some heavy blocking. This is for the future aluminum rapid railing system by Deckorators. We ran into an obstacle, the gutter. Luis Cura marked the deck, drilling a pilot hole to get the jigsaw blade in, and then cut a beautiful circle around to fit the gutter. We used self-sticking joist tape on all the joists to protect them from moisture. This decorative border or frame does not come with hidden fasteners, so we used Deckorators' Pro Plug system with a nifty bit that drives and sets the screw head countersunk for a color-coordinated plug. The screws will disappear. After the border was set, on all but one side, we began to install the decking boards. We left the border off on the end so we could chalk line and rip the end of the boards in one clean cut. You'll see this in a bit. Deckorator supplies a proprietary fastener for the decking that locks into the edge grooves on adjacent boards. We screw them loosely to make inserting the fasteners into the grooves easier, and then afterwards we cinch the screws down. It's important to keep track of the screws needing to be tightened so you don't leave any forgotten ones behind. Some of the boards required a little persuasion. Deckorators' planks are very flexible, so keeping a straight line is important. We measured every second board to keep the deck running parallel and adjusted the run as needed. Just a little bit, 1/8 of an inch here, 1/4 of an inch there. When you start working with this Deckorators decking, you may notice that the factory edges are not square. After laying a few boards and seeing how poorly the edges looked, we had to cut the factory edges square before installing the boards. In other words, cut the factory edge off, measure, cut again. The cuts we made looked much better. Where two boards meet at a butt joint, Deckorators recommends blocking the joint, which we did with a 2x. This makes it easier to secure both board ends tightly with fasteners. Occasionally, there was no way to use a hidden fastener, so we used 2 deck screws to fasten the board at these locations and later capped the countersunk screw with a color-coordinated plug. As the guys advanced in the installation, the boards went down more quickly and easily. You get the hang of it and get a pattern going like anything else. You'll notice how flexible the boards are. They don't break, they bend, so one man can carry a 20-foot board from the front yard to the backyard without breaking it. Deckorators features a patented mineral-based composite technology that offers the industry's best strength-to-weight ratio. It's nearly 35% lighter than traditional composites. You can work with tighter tolerances because Voyage decking has virtually no thermal expansion or contraction. I like that. I like the look of the decking and the contrasting edge. By varying the board widths, the pattern becomes more complex and interesting without appearing overly busy. At the far end of the deck, we let the boards run wild past the end joist, so we could later use a chalk line to mark that row and then trim them all at once in a line for a nice, clean finish. We only had to rip one board during the whole installation. We chalked and ripped it carefully using a circular saw. Because we kept checking measurements and the lines ran parallel, the last board fit perfectly with no angle adjustment needed. The edge and border boards looked beautiful together, nice and straight. Fastening the border with the special deck screws and plugs was fun. There's a satisfying snap once the screws have set, and then lining up the plug with the grain of the border was the final touch that made the fasteners disappear completely. But of course, the best part of a deck is not building it, but enjoying it with friends and family after you have built it. Luis Cura and his crew did an excellent job, and for me, Voyage Decking by Deckorators was a good choice.